Remember those tiny wipers on car headlights? Where did they go? Let's find out. And while we're at it, we'll also learn why France once forced everyone to drive with yellow headlights, and why old headlights had striped glass, while modern ones are completely smooth. Welcome to NORUSH. In 1970, the Swedish company Saab became the first to equip its cars with miniature headlight wipers. The idea quickly caught on, so much so that by 1972, Sweden made them mandatory by law. These little motorized brushes helped clean the headlights from dirt, snow, and ice. The driver could even spray washer fluid and wipe the lights clean at the press of a button, without ever leaving the car. By the 1980s and 90s, such devices were everywhere, from affordable Ladas with square headlights to prestigious Mercedes and Volvos. But by the 2000s, the feature had practically vanished. So why did car makers give up on headlight wipers? Well, there are several reasons. First, simpler and cheaper alternatives appeared. Stationary high-pressure washer jets. They didn't need motors or complicated linkages, just a couple of nozzles and a pump to blast water onto the lens and wash away the dirt. Second, those little protruding wipers hurt aerodynamics. It may seem trivial, but at highway speeds, extra drag increased wind noise and slightly affected fuel economy. Third, the headlight material changed. Old wipers rubbed against tough glass, but modern headlights are made of polycarbonate plastic, and stiff brushes quickly left scratches on the surface. Regulations also played a role. Under EU rules, headlight cleaning systems are now required only for glass lenses. Plastic headlights just need washer jets, not wipers. And since nearly all headlights today are plastic, manufacturers simply install sprayers and skip the wiper assembly altogether. So, which car was the last one to have them? That honor goes to Volvo, the brand that started it all. Even the early 2000s Volvo S60 still came with headlight wipers. Eventually, though, the tiny wipers had served their time and went down in history. Today, you'll see them only on old cars, or in museums. And honestly, I kinda miss them. They looked elegant, almost artful, and remind me of that era of clever mechanical solutions that gave each car its own character. By the way, headlights amazed drivers not only with their wipers. Some cars had headlights that actually turned with the steering wheel. In 1967, the legendary Citroën DS introduced a system that let its headlights look around corners. The beams were mechanically linked to the steering, so when you turn the wheel, the light turned in the same direction. That innovation was ahead of its time, and though it didn't catch on back then, today, the concept has returned as modern adaptive headlights. And speaking of France, why did they once have yellow headlights? Okay, imagine, from 1937 until the early 1990s, every car in France was required by law to have yellow front lights. This odd rule lasted for nearly 56 years, becoming a distinctive feature of French roads. So why did the French choose yellow? History doesn't give a single clear answer, but there are a few theories. Theory 1. Military. Before World War II, the French military supposedly wanted to distinguish their vehicles from those of potential enemies. If you saw yellow headlights, you instantly knew. That's one of ours. Theory 2. Safety. In the 1930s, researchers studied how light color affects human vision. They found that yellow light dazzles less than white, works slightly better in fog and rain, and reduces glare from wet roads. It also helps your eyes recover faster after facing oncoming headlights, making night driving more comfortable and safer overall. Whatever the case, in 1936, France officially passed a regulation requiring all new cars to emit selective yellow light. By April 1937, yellow headlights were mandatory for new vehicles, and by 1939, for all of them. For decades, France stood alone. No other European country had such a rule. White headlights were effectively outlawed, and driving with normal white beams in France was illegal until 1993. However, technology never stands still, and by the late 20th century, yellow headlights had turned from an advantage into a problem. Why? Because the yellow filter significantly reduced brightness. In the age of old incandescent bulbs, light loss was around 10%, but with the arrival of halogen lamps, things got worse. You couldn't just paint a halogen bulb, so it was placed inside a yellow glass capsule, which absorbed up to 30% of the light output. As a result, yellow headlights were visibly dimmer than the white ones. Tests also showed that modern white headlights, when properly adjusted, don't dazzle oncoming drivers any more than yellow ones. And since the safety advantage of yellow lights had virtually disappeared, France had to align with European standards. In 1993, the law mandating yellow headlights was finally repealed. Today, French and EU-wide regulations allow both white and yellow light, but virtually everyone uses white because it simply illuminates the road better. And just like that, the era of France's soft golden glow came to an end. By the way, another mini revolution in lighting happened in the 1990s. In 1991, the BMW 7 Series became the first car to feature xenon headlights, high-intensity discharge lamps. These emitted a bright bluish white light far stronger than halogen and lasted several times longer. Xenon lights instantly became a symbol of luxury and set the trend towards more powerful beams, a path that would later continue with LEDs and lasers in today's cars. Now let's talk about those striped headlight lenses. Why did older headlights have them? Look closely at vintage cars and you'll see that their front headlight glass was usually covered with vertical ridges and patterns. Almost all headlights used to be like that. Today, look at any modern car. The headlights are smooth and perfectly transparent. What caused that change? The answer is easy to see. Optical technology evolved. Old, ribbed headlights had fairly simple, smooth reflectors. The desired beam pattern was created by the glass lens itself, which contained molded patterns to bend and spread the light. In other words, the ribbed glass acted as a built-in diffuser lens. Back in the 19th century, the French inventor Augustin-Jean Fresnel designed a special lens for lighthouses. This lens could shape a beam using concentric rings and prisms instead of a thick piece of glass. Car headlights followed the same principle. The patterned surface of the glass refracted light, spreading it horizontally, smoothing the beam edges, and removing unwanted glare. Even with a basic bulb and reflector, this made headlights more functional. They didn't blind oncoming drivers and gave a more even illumination of the road. But there were downsides. Ribbed glass slightly reduced brightness and limited design freedom. The front of the headlight always looked frosted and matte. So starting in the 1990s, automakers began switching to smooth crystal headlights. In these, the outer glass, or rather a clear plastic cover, no longer shaped the beam at all. The optics moved inside. The reflector itself became a complex, multifaceted surface, like a cut gemstone. Each section reflects light at a specific angle, and together, they form the precise beam pattern. This type is called a freeform reflector, designed using computer modeling. Thanks to that, the outer lens could now be completely clear and smooth. Then came projector headlights. A focusing lens sits in front of the bulb, while the outer glass remains flat and transparent. Engineers had effectively hidden the optics inside, freeing external design from constraints. That gave car designers enormous freedom. No more round or rectangular limits. Modern plastic lenses can be molded into virtually any shape. Designers can now style the internals of headlights too. Behind the clear cover, we see sculpted reflectors, stylish LED modules, and intricately shaped daytime running lights. Think about how striking modern headlights look at night. Their glowing eyes are far more expressive than simple circles of the past. Plastic also made it possible to create larger, more sculpted headlights that follow the car's body lines without fear of shattering glass. Of course, glass did have its advantages. It didn't scratch under wipers or fade in sunlight. But polycarbonate plastic proved tougher overall. It doesn't shatter from a flying stone, and it's safer for pedestrians in a crash. By the early 2000s, nearly every automaker had switched to smooth plastic headlight units. The ribbed glass became a thing of the past, both technically and aesthetically. So, there you have it. 3 curious stories from the world of headlights. The tiny wipers disappeared, France's golden glow gave way to bright white, and the ribbed glass pattern evolved into crystal clarity. Engineering ideas come and go. Fashions and technologies change, but headlights keep getting better. Today, we see the road at night more clearly than ever, and we rarely have to step out at a gas station to wipe them clean by hand. So, what's next? Like the video? Hit subscribe, drop a comment, and check out the others.